Hey Gabe, today is Saturday, March 13th. It's currently 10:13 a.m. I have Hulu turned on in the background, just got off of Disney Plus. I just watched both the Guardians of the Galaxy movies back to back. Um, so I guess we should start off with the big event first because it was 2 days ago, not yesterday, but the night before that, where I felt an extreme rush of loneliness. I went to take a bath, and in that bath, I was thinking about how lonely things have gotten for myself in my personal life. Um, those feelings have always come and gone before because obviously loneliness is something that people obviously deal with a lot in their lives, and I have to, back in high school and all that, it's not a new thing, but figured it would pass, whatever, maybe I'm just being emotional or something like that, it'll come to pass. Um, but then it got really bad because, like, I was sat in this chair after the bath and I was still kind of feeling down about myself. Um, and that's when I kind of reached out to Trevor at the time, and I was telling him what I was going through and everything like that. And then I reached out to Amberly, and I remember that the second message I sent her, like the first one was probably like "Hey" or something like that, but the second one, um, I think it was something along the lines of, "I'm sorry that I only hit you up when I feel, empty and hollow." And I'm not really sure why, but at that moment, I kind of just had a breakdown and just started crying, for about 20 minutes or so. Now, I haven't cried in a while, so I guess it makes sense, but I feel like crying now again because that kind of loneliness is coming back, but we'll get to that in a bit. As far as 2 nights ago, I feel really selfish because I don't know, it was just like a lot of self pity, like, oh, I feel so sorry for myself. Oh, my life is so terrible. Oh, I hate what's going on with me right now because obviously people are struggling with a lot worse, but I don't know, man. It just kind of overtook me that, there's a lot of people in my life that, people I know, friends and family that have just gone on to do like way better. Particularly with like, finding people that, are really accustomed to them and fit, their group and everything like that. I thought about, already Brady James and then how, and them, how they all found, that group with them to stay with, and I didn't stay with them, and all of them got girlfriends, even Alex, even Thomas. And I thought about my other group with with Snacks and Rubio and Eric and all of them, and about how um I try to hang out with them, and it's like always no dice, like not even like an effort is made, and I basically abandoned one group to go to the other, and now in this current moment, none of them really. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of value out of either one of them, and I thought about it, and my only real friend right now is kind of Trevor, apart from like maybe Andre or whatever. But it still feels weird that like people that I value the most in my life right now are somebody that's like 4 years older than me, and Evan, Will, and Andre and them are like at least like 10 years above me. Like I don't really have anybody my age that's a friend right now. Even Amberly is younger than me, and it kind of just hit me all at once because everyone else I see on the story, I see on Instagram, is doing so well, and I'm just kind of trapped here. I thought that was my cat for a second, but yeah, I just thought about it because I just kept thinking of people that were doing well. My ex Paige is doing well, Thomas is doing well, Alex is doing well. The people that I wouldn't expect to be doing all right in the stage of their life. Not that I don't wish them ill will or anything, but I think about it, and I'm not trying to get egotistical or anything, but I would figure, I'm a somewhat smart guy. I'm a somewhat, I, maybe not funny, but like maybe, I don't know, at least pleasant to be around, very optimistic, always smiles on person. I would figure if, they have someone, if they at least have friends or a girlfriend or anything like that, like maybe I should, like, it was surprising that I didn't have it's surprising that I don't have either of those things. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have really any friends I feel comfortable hanging around because always the thing was for the past couple years, apart from like 3 months in 2018, was that I kind of had to like justify myself being there. And that's a really bad feeling. But not even having the option to go out and hang out with people is even worse than that. And that kind of hit me hard. So I was just crying and like sobbing, and I went to like fucking three tissues, man. It was pretty bad. And I don't know. It's really strange because like a lot of the music I listen to today is like reminiscent of what I listened to during those 3 months when things were a lot better. And even just walking through Forest Park today on the way back to my car, I saw this like the sun starting to set, the sky starting to get like really orange and pale and really saturated, and it just made me think back to the times when like I would do things with like Rubio and Owen and them, back when I felt really comfortable with them, and I'd get into the car with them, and the sun was like going down, and like the sky was purple and orange and all this stuff, and it kind of had like that flashback. And when you look at that back in the day, it's like what's going on now, where I basically force myself to walk for 2 hours by myself. I stay in my house by myself. I do all this like Nutrisystem stuff by myself. I started at like 4 days ago. I don't really report to anybody because if I report to the people in like the Rubio Owen group, they just like straight up ignore me. I just don't feel like they care, which I'm not saying they're supposed to. Like I can't fault them for not really caring that much since I've had people in my life that I kind of like didn't really I couldn't care less for. So if I'm that kind of person in their life, then I can't really stop them. So but it is surprising nonetheless. So I can't reach out to them. I'm probably going to try and reach out to like James and Artie and Brady and them. As soon as I get like the weight problem handled, since that's like the biggest source of my insecurity. But there's a part of me that tells me that like that group is kind of fully developed, and I'm always going to be viewed as an outsider, and that kind of sucks because I had been with them all the way up until like the rear end of junior year. And I guess the end of that, or primarily senior year, was when they decided to like form like that big strong group, and now they're all best friends of each other. And it's funny because I remember sitting at the table, and they would always clown on Anthony, Thomas, um, Anthony Thomas and Brendan, and now I look at them now like they're all like best friends. They all get together very well, and I don't know, it just makes you feel a little bit jealous because when I used to hang out with them, I always kind of felt like I was, you know, I don't know. I've always been insecure, so that might be just what it is. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I was watching Guardians today, and even just something like watching a movie made me feel kind of like upset because I think I remember I was watching Guardians 2 around 2018 or maybe 2017 or something like that. And when I was watching Guardians, I couldn't help but think at that time I went to Six Flags in New Jersey with James, Joey, and like one other person. I forgot who, but one of their friends. And I was wearing, that was when I was at my most slim, like talking like 155. I think it was junior going into senior year summer, that summer. I got invited to go with them. And I wore this shirt, from Redbubble. It was a custom made t-shirt that had like the Awesome Mix Volume 1 or whatever on it. It was like an orange shirt with the mixtape on it. And watching Guardians of the Galaxy kind of made me think back to that moment because I was very happy in that moment. I was hanging out with friends. I was having a good time. Um, I think that was the day I conquered my fear of roller coasters, and that might have been a different day. I'm not really sure because I kind of like blur the dates together, but I'm pretty sure that was a day. And I had such a great time with them, despite like not being like really close, but we just kind of bonded over that experience. So here I am again. We're stuck in the past. Um, Hopefully we can do something about it, but I don't know, man. Like right now, it just feels really, really hopeless. I know it's like an overused word in like movies and everything like that. It's, oh, there's no use. It's hopeless, whatever. But I don't have a job to interact with people with anymore. When I go to school, it's going to be digital, so I can't interact with people over there. Um, yeah, and like there's not a lot of other avenues. Let me turn Hulu back on. Sorry. Um, like there's not really a lot of other avenues I can take to kind of meet people. Like the walking thing. I hope that maybe someday I come across somebody that's like willing to like talk to me for more than 2 seconds at the time. But like real talk, this is New York, so like that doesn't really happen. So really, just my best bet right now is like lose weight, go on Tinder, and hopefully get lucky with somebody that makes me feel happy, or maybe I go back to Catherine or something. But I don't know, man. I feel like I feel like I have this reputation of people in my old life or my high school life of being kind of like, I don't know, not all there. not like crazy, but like I'm insecure, so I'm assuming that they think I'm like not that little awkward to hang out around and this and that. Maybe it's not the case, but that's just how I feel deep down. So it just feels like no matter which way I go, it's gonna be like misery. And nights like this, like I watch a movie, like you know, I usually watch movies with people. I usually do all these things with people, but now I'm just doing them by myself, and I'm just wondering if that's the way it's gonna be for like the next 30 years or so. And if I just never grow up and I'm able to find like a group of people or like a female friend to confide in and spend time with, I don't know. Maybe I missed the opportunity, and the aspect of that being a possibility kind of sucks, man. I feel like I was gonna cry again tonight, but after talking into the camera, I think I feel a little bit better. But I guess we'll see what happens this week. But things are still pretty down. There have been moments where it feels great, but it's like I'm almost bipolar in a way because I was like, I think it was Thursday when it was like 60 degrees. I laid down in the middle of Victory Field in Forest Park and I looked up at the stars, listening to music, and it felt fantastic. Because like those isolated moments are fine, but when I look back and I think my sadness comes from when I like take a step back and look big picture. I haven't really communicated or hung out with people from my high school or really anybody outside of like work people in a long time, and it makes me kind of sad. But that's all the rambling I'm going to do for today. Um, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Hasn't been the best. There have been like high moments, like I said, but I think the last recording I did, I was pretty down on my luck, and I guess that feeling resonates to this one. But regardless, I'll catch you in the next video. Later.